For those of you, um, how many have done cord cutting or have participated in cord cutting? Show of hands, so I can get an idea of who's new. Okay. All right. So this is new to a fair number of people. All right. So let me start by introducing who I am, because some of you may know me, and some may not. I'm Gwen Peterson, and I am the founder of Spiritual Communities Network. Some of you may know me from that. I am also the mentor of Insights and Illuminations, so some of you may know me from there. Either way, those are the two hats I wear, basically supporting teachers and seekers of spiritual growth. And so tonight I'm wearing both hats. The community classrooms are part of Spiritual Communities Network. It's one of our hosted programs, um, our educational programs, if you will, an opportunity for you to get to know the different members of our group, what they do, and maybe learn something new about spirituality that maybe you didn't know or had wanted to find out more about. So welcome. Glad to have you here. Tonight is all about cord cutting. It's the new moon cord cutting. In a couple of days, we're going to have a new moon. And for those who aren't familiar with astrology or the movement of the moon, the new moon represents beginnings. Okay, it's a great time to plant seeds, set goals, start new. Okay. And cord cutting is all about letting go. Okay. Cutting the cords. Each person you meet, things you come in contact with, those treasured items, we all develop a connection with them or a cord, if you like. Okay. And sometimes those connections, it's time for them to move on, to sever. Um, for the highest good of both parties, okay? And so through a cord cutting, you're just basically going through the ceremony of coming to terms with yourself and where you're at with it, that you're ready to let go, a commitment, if you will. So cord cuttings can be done there's all different types. There's a number of different ones. You might know them as the burning bowls. There's the freezer method that I teach at my Monday night group, as well as the cord cuttings. And like I said, it's basically about just saying, all right, I'm ready to let these things go in my life. And some things you've got attachments to that maybe you don't even know. And so this is a good way to just kind of let those things move on to their highest good. Um, why a ritual? Rituals are a great way to focus. So we can walk around all day saying where we want to go and what we want to do. But if we really haven't taken the time to sit down and just be with ourselves and what our goals or intentions are, it's not as powerful if you don't do that. So a ritual just really focuses it in. Okay. It makes it very personal to you. And that is where you really can make a deeper connection with yourself, okay, and move into a deeper place with your intentions. So let me look at some of my notes and make sure I touched on some of the things. Oh, yeah, and letting go. This is always a good one to remind everybody. When you let go of things, you create a vacuum, okay? You create a space that allows spirit to fill it with new and better things, all right? Because sometimes we hold on to things from a place of lack or fear, that if I don't hold on to this situation or thing or person, there won't be another. Okay. But spirit loves a vacuum. Okay. And when you create that space and allow something to fill it, spirit always comes through in a bigger and better way. especially if you've set the intention with it being a bigger and better way. Tonight, we're working with Archangel Michael. Okay. Archangel Michael, for those who know the angels, he's the one that's usually depicted with a sword. So it only makes sense that he would be our guest in the cord cutting. All right. Um, he is one of the first angels I started working with, and I didn't seek him out. He just kind of came through in one of my meditation practices. And we've been kind of buddies since, I guess you could say. We've kind of been working together. And insights and illuminations, the soul work that I do, uh, my angels and ascended masters, they'll guide me in different things. And last summer during COVID, I had gotten a direction to start having some classes, do a bunch of free classes. And they gave me kind of a list, and one of them was doing Archangel Classes to introduce people to them and what their work was about, which was kind of interesting because when I thought about classes, that wasn't the direction I was thinking of going with the soul work. So it was kind of fun because the angels came through in my practice, but I did not really research them. Okay. So I was like, "Oh, well, if I'm gonna do a class, I probably should do a little research on these guys." So, I did, and, Archangel Michael, for those of you who don't know, he's one of the 7 archangels. He's also known as Saint Michael. I mentioned that he carries a sword, and, um, beyond that, you can do some Google searches, right? And find out more about him. He's a wonderful, easy to work with angel. And so when cord cutting came up, of course, who would step in? So when we do this work together tonight, it is going to be a meditation, but it's going to be a meditation from the standpoint that I channel that energy from him. Okay. So I'm going to connect with him, hold that space, his energy, and I'm going to invite you in to tap into that energy and have your experience with him. As far as verbiage goes, he'll guide me in whatever the group needs to hear. Some of you may hear it, some of you may not. Don't get panicky. The ones who need to hear it will hear the messages. If you don't hear anything, that's because you're doing a lot of inside work and you'll get your message just fine. It'll come up, if not tonight, it'll come up in the course of days. Like I said, the new moon starts in a couple days. So but we're feeling that energy, I'm sure. And if you have any questions about it, go ahead and hit the chat button down at the bottom, and I'll take a couple questions if you have any about what I've covered so far. Um, let's see. Cord cutting is the best way to do it is just make it your ritual. Okay. There's really no right or wrong. All right. Um, it's all about the intention of starting new, releasing for the highest good. All right. Nobody gets hurt. Okay. It's not oh, I'm cutting this person loose and, they're going to get theirs kind of thing. It's not that. It's just a freeing, higher, a higher vibration. Okay. That you want the best for everybody and everything involved, as well as yourself. And you're willing to go there and let that happen. So, what can you do for a ritual? Find a quiet spot. Go away from most other people so that you're not disrupted or people start going, "What are you doing?" Okay, so find a nice quiet place. Background music if you want to. I am not going to play it here because of copyright, but you could have music in the background. If you're an incense person, you could do incense. Crystals, love them, bring them on. If you have a particular one that you want to use for that ceremony, perfect. Um, I came across, oh, this isn't it. I have a spray that is for cord cutting. Sometimes I like to spray. It has a light scent. Oh, I see somebody waving one. Yep, they're perfect. You spray them, and if you're not one for burning candles or incense, it's a nice way to freshen the air, and they carry a vibration too, because they usually have essential oils in that carry a higher vibration too. And then one day wandering through one of the stores, um, I came across this piece of selenite, okay, and it was beautiful, and it was just really a unique shape, and at the time, I was like, "You're really calling to me. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you, but I'll pick you up." And then later, as, my practice continued to evolve, I felt drawn to wrap it and create a, um, a sword, okay? And I don't know if you can see it here at the end. I wrapped it, I put some trinkets on it, that a turkey feather, which represents blessings, and some other little trinkets that meant things to me. And then it became my cord cutting sword, if you will. Okay. So what I do with it is I don't wield it like a sword. I just kind of place it in front of me to represent the severing of the cords that I have with the people and the things around me that are needing to move in their direction, into a new direction that's better for everybody. So I haven't seen anything pop up in the chat room, so I'm thinking that I have covered it fairly well. Again, we can do more chatting afterwards. We can unmute and actually have conversation if you like. But that's pretty much it for sharing what cord cutting is, okay? And the reason for it being right now with a new moon, because you want to move into something new, fresh. You want those fresh beginnings. And so get comfy in your seats, friends, because we're going to start. Archangel Michael has been making himself well known to me today. This is crazy. I love to share how crazy it can get when you really start to work with your guides and angels and stuff. Everybody has their own relationship, and they are, your guides come through in your own unique ways. And recently, I had moved, probably within the last 4 months, and I was noticing there was a smell of like bakery goods, like vanilla cookies, sugar cookies, like a vanilla sugar cookie. And I couldn't quite put that's the best description I can come to it, but that even doesn't describe the smell I was getting. And I kept thinking, my next door neighbor, their kitchen is right next to an air vent for my condo. And I'm thinking, I have to find out what this woman bakes over there, because she is baking some darn good smelling cookies. So I went ahead and was in one of my meditations, and I could smell those cookies. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just going, man, that has got to be the best smell. And then all of a sudden, the movie Michael pops into my head. And I don't know if any of you have seen it, but it's the scene where, well, there's a few scenes where when he's out and about, all the women can smell um, pastries or cookies or whatever, baked goods, every time John Travolta goes through the room. And I stopped and I went, oh, oh, that's interesting. I've never had a clair ascension, I believe is the term, when you can smell things. So that was kind of interesting that I can smell his presence. And I think that's so weird. But I've been smelling him today. It's just, there's been a few different points in the day. I'm like, oh, well, you're just all fired up about tonight, aren't you? So, all right, my friends, are you comfy? What I want you to do is you're gonna close your eyes. I want you to put your focus on your heart center. All right, that's where your soul connection is. It's also where all those connections go. And that's why some of those connections, when they get pulled on, it feels like it's right there in your heart. That's why it's right there. It's your soul connected to these people. So we're going to just put our focus there, and we're going to take a few deep breaths. And as you take in some deep breaths, this is going to signal your body to relax and your mind to focus, because you want your mind to pay attention but not be busy. It's going to observe. For those of you who don't meditate as a practice, this is a chance for you to just tell your mind, watch what happens, because we're working with a group energy and a very powerful archangel energy. And like I said, he's been ready to go today. So our angel is ready to begin. Are you? Let's begin. And as you take another deep breath. Relaxing into the seat you're seated in or the cushions you're lying. This is a safe space for you. Your soul is engaged, and the archangel has you in loving grace. You may begin to feel your heart center opening. For some, that might be a little painful if you've had it closed off for so long. But it's okay. Trusting in your soul, trusting that it has your highest good. Trusting your angel. From these two perspectives, divine wisdom reigns. They understand. They understand your needs, your hurts, the pain, the love. Taking a deep breath and allowing yourself to just relax deeper into that heart space. Each day, you make connections, you attach from a heart center. But your personality sometimes doesn't want to let go of connections that are ready to be released. With the assistance of Archangel Michael, we ask that he sever connections that are no longer to our highest good. Some of these you won't even notice. But if you've been struggling with a particular connection, you may feel this or sense it. Trust. Trust that you are loved and cared for, and that your angel and your soul will see you through to the other side of that disconnect. For some, it may be just a loosening of a connection. Allowing both to move freely. In this moment, to yourself, if there's a question regarding a connection, put it to your angel. Ask that he guide you and agree to listen. Placing your hand on your heart center, sending self love, the unconditional love that comes from your soul to you. Taking a deep breath. And as you release, come back to your body. Wiggle your toes, your fingers, and in love and gratitude to our angel and all that were here tonight. Namaste.